This video is sponsored by PCBWay. They offer a variety of PCB services ranging from standard PCB to rigid flex. Simply upload your Gerber files for a quick build time and amazing quality PCBs. In addition to PCBs, they also offer CNC, injection molding, and 3D printing services, which I'll definitely be using in the future. Definitely check out their website, and thank you so much PCBWay for sponsoring my channel. This copy of Pokemon Ruby was sent in for repair, so let's plug it in and see what it's doing. Alright, so there's no logo and the game does not boot, so let's open it up and see what's going on. Right off the bat, we have a missing battery pad and a few missing pins on this chip. Under the microscope, we can see that we're missing 2 pins and 4 pads. However, these 2 outer pins are very weak, and they just fall right off with the nudge of my scalpel, so I'm going to remove them anyways, as I don't trust them. The repair process on this is actually pretty straightforward. We're going to remove some of the plastic on the IC package to reveal a small amount of pin that we can hopefully solder to. After scraping my scalpel back and forth for a few minutes, we can see a small amount of metal shine through that dust. Now we have to tin these little pins with solder. This is an important step that can't be skipped, so I'm going to load this thing up with flux and just flood on a bunch of solder to hopefully get a nice tin going. With those tinned, we can now go ahead and remove that chip and start the repair process. Those 4 broken pins and pads lead right to these 4 vias, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the solder mask so that we have a nice surface to solder to. And now we can go ahead and load those vias up with some solder. Now we can feed some very small wire into those vias. Now we can lay those wires flat and put the chip back on top. And now we're going to take those wires and fold them around the chip, making sure that we are crossing in front of that exposed pin. Just like that. Now I'm going to load that up with flux and solder 2 at a time. With those 4 broken pins fixed, we can now go ahead and resolder the rest of the chip. I'm going to use a small piece of Kapton tape to insulate those exposed wires and keep them from interfering with the battery. Speaking of the battery, we have to repair that pad, and we can do so by using a piece of copper tape that we can epoxy into place. Now we can slap the battery on top and solder it into place. And just for a bit more strength, I'm going to use a little bit of epoxy on top of the exposed terminal. Now it's time to plug this game in and see if we fixed it. Okay, so there's the logo. That's a good sign. And it loads right to the save file, so that means the battery is working and this game is repaired. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.